Hi everyone, Jerome right here again, and you're with me on my Jeronification channel here on YouTube. And for the past I think 4 or 5 days here, I've been stuck on a mental lock or block or whatever you want to call it with looking at this image here before you, which is that of um, the structure, the what is this the Great Sphinx, the Great Sphinx in Giza there, and I've been just drawn to it, and I just can't let go. So normally, what happens when this occurrence happens to me when I'm drawn to an object mentally, because that's what actually happens. It's like almost like a magnetic gravitational pull that I have mentally that keeps drawing me and drawing me and drawing me through my paranormal experience and encounter. Just to give you an idea of what happens to me. So normally what I do is when I'm drawn to an image, I'm just actually just there staring at it. I'll print it out, I'll look at it, I just keep going over and over in my mind. Okay, what is it that you want me to know? Because I'm drawn to it. It's like I can't walk away from it. I have to stay at it. So normally what I do is I would start looking and letting myself go mentally into this thing, looking at it as being a real object, which I know that through mankind's evolutionary process that these creatures did in fact exist. And I found the evidence of it. Okay, I have other videos here. I think it's 137, 140 videos here. I thought it was about 150 now, but it's not. But look at my other videos, and you'll actually see how these creatures actually existed. And what this Great Sphinx is telling us is that the image of mankind came through the body of the lion and that of the serpent through a process of these genetic bridgings and manipulations, which actually calls for the variations and likenesses of mankind today. And these Renaissance artists, I found out that the boom in Renaissance art, they're stating the same exact thing that is already in our ancient history. And this is why you have these half bird, half lizard, half reptilian. All of these half bull, these half creatures with mankind, because it is a factual thing that occurred in our evolutionary chain of events. And it's amazing that these experts look past this, because there is nothing more important to that of man, even in our current own history, than where we came from or who we are. When we go into our own homes today, we see pictures of not just ourselves but of our children. You know what I mean? And how we came. There's a record. And that's what these people did. They made their record, but on a larger than life scale. And we come along after history has been robbed of us, and there are those that enjoyed knowing the truth of how this all occurred, knowing that this symbol means something that actually occurred in actuality, and change it around and turn it into a mythical sense and have us believing that none of this never happened. Now we don't know suddenly where we came from. This is all bullshit. There's no other way to say it than just that. Then you have those that come along like the ancient alien theorists and others that have us looking to the skies and beyond for something that occurred, that happened, that calls for all of this to happen. No, we had an intelligence that we evolved from space with already built into us. There is all of this technology, this understanding already in us that we evolved from space with and knew how to do this, our ancient ancestors. What is blocking you from seeing this now is that, and understanding this now, is that the so-called logic behind your religions and your science of today. With none of that as being a barrier. in your understanding and your logic that you already came equipped with from beyond our world with, you would know that this is actual and factual, and this is what happens to me. That barrier in my mind, I broke it down. But anyway, I'm looking at this, and already I know instinctively that what this is stating is that mankind emerged from that of reptilian, and I don't see this as being nothing more than the head of a snake and the likeness of man emerging from that, specifically a cobra. All right, and which is consistent with all of the glyphs that are already in Egypt. This is the head of a cobra with the face of mankind emerging. That snake is symbolizing, instead of his coiled body being there, which actually could be there because these legs seems to be displaced from this. There could be a coiled body of a snake that this was actually these lion's legs was added to, which is okay though, because you know what, the lion is in mankind's evolutionary chain of events as well too, genetic chain of events. This is a creature that mankind was bridged over. There was a point where that actually happened, and there is a specific record on this. Okay, not only in just Egyptian time, but also in that of Christianity and everything else as well too. Okay, it shows a genetic process where these creatures were bridged over each other, and it calls for mankind's different genetics, mankind's different features, his limbs, and everything. This is what this is symbolizing. All right, let me go back. When I'm drawn to this image, I start mentally start taking myself into this being. And how do I do that? I start drawing things. I started out with the tail. Over here where the tail is coming over the back foot here. What is that? The right hind quarter foot there. And I start looking at things and looking for things that are there that I see. So there's the tail, and then I see this wet area right there. Like it's like an area where rock may have been once before or moved, but it almost looks like there's a stain on the rock. And what I can see is I see the head of a serpent. And then once the head of the serpent goes here, then I see its tail. I mean, its tongue coming out. Okay, so now I see a lion with a serpent's tail. Then I start seeing other things. And now, the head of a hog with the female presence that appear for me, and I start drawing on these things. And it's like I'm drawn into this and saying, look, this is what this means. This is what this means. Now you might say, well, damn. I mean, are you seeing? Are you hallucinating or what? I mean, you might want to say that. Yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm hallucinating, but in a sense of reality. Okay, it's like I'm dimensionally drawn into these things. So of that, I keep going into this thing and keep going into this. I mean, something is there. Now I'm going into a few days of just staring at this image here and being drawn in. So then I'll take and start looking at this for what it is, and that is a snake. So I'm doodling and doodling, trying to get an understanding. So tell me what you want to tell me. I mean, and let's get this over with. You know. So now, mind you that paranormally, I'm going through this change in my mind, this mental change where I'm actually being drawn into this thing. I'm locked in, dead in with this. So I'm staring it into the face, and this thing is staring me back. This sculpture is staring me back, and I'll start doing little things like this. I start making circles. You should have seen me just making circles, and then you know what I mean. And then finally, I get to the face and say, you know what? I see what you're trying to tell me. Give you your reptilian likeness in your face. So I just started doodling on the face, and as you can see here, I start coloring in this reptilian likeness, these circles in the face and all of that. And then I start looking at it, and the face of a cobra is emerging before me. So therefore, the nose would be exact to that of a cobra. Not a traditional nose that we have. It would be something in the sense of almost like, I'm thinking, imagining like diamonds. Okay, and in a sense of this, the way a snake would breathe from their nose. And I would imagine that as being the same exact way. Okay, as this on this face and all. So I'm taking and I'm looking, and a little by little, the piece that's actually broken off over here, and I mean the eyes missing and the nose that's missing. Little by little, this face is emerging to me as I'm drawing onto it. It's like, keep going. Now I'm taking, and in a sense now, this is what is happening to me at this point. The person that allegedly supposed to have found this, that was laying down beside this this sculpture and this structure, and it said that you will become king if you. There's this a mythical story. You will become king. There was this king, pharaoh, whatever. That said you will become pharaoh if you unearth me. The person that was laying there and had a dream about this thing, and dug it up, unearthed it. That's what this story is supposed to be, or whatever. But I'm imagining myself as this person now. All of these stories are coming through me. And I feel myself being paranormally drawn into this thing, and there's this energy that's coming on to me about this thing. I'm saying, what in the world is going on? But then and again, I know. So I'm not afraid, and I'm keep drawing and drawing. So look at the eyes. I mean, they're looking directly into me. I'm being drawn into those eyes as I am right now. And things just keep emerging for me. So eventually, what I ended up doing is, now we're probably on, I think on day 3 or whatever. I start seeing the face here for what it truly is. And people, I tell you, the more and more that I started adding to this, I started coming into a sense that it was just, now look, I did the eye. I noticed that the eye is up high over here, of course, but almost looked like a glass eye, to be totally honest with you. But anyway, the point that I'm making here is that this is a reptilian face, the face of a cobra. Okay, and it shows what actually occurred with mankind. Now, I call this a Nubian cobra queen, or queen cobra, a Nubian queen cobra. Now, the reason for this is that through that time, mankind was bridged over from its likenesses of that of ape ancestor, excuse me, and our African ancestor. And in Egypt, they were showing you how these creatures were utilized to bridge over those likenesses that were before to create the likenesses that are current. It's the same thing that's going on today in all over the world. It's something, it's a cult-like ritual that occurred throughout the entire existence of mankind, and there's records of it. And this is how we got from our ape ancestor likeness to that of our from our ape ancestor likeness to that of our damn, I'm seeing faces here now as I'm talking, from our ape ancestor likeness to that of our African ancestor likeness, and to that of our lighter versions of African ancestor likenesses, and to those areas where, those regions where mankind's outer likenesses started becoming lighter and lighter and lighter, from that of Asian, and going to finally to becoming white. And that's what this is all about. And the record, a meticulously kept record, is actually showing how all of this occurred. And that's what this is about. And they're showing you the creatures that was utilized to actually do these genetic bridgings and these manipulations to change and alter the likenesses of mankind. Now, this is what I arrived at by just staring at this Great Sphinx image. This is what I arrived at. Paranormally drawn into this. Now, I don't see if you can see the define. I'm going to bring that in so you can see things. Here. People, the detail here is just not, it's like, you know, I just go all above and beyond when I started. And you probably don't notice here in the ear. Now, I know that this is actually supposed to be another image of a cobra, but I was inspired. This was supposed to be an image of a snake as well, too, at the center of her head. However, I was inspired to put 2 rods and 3 circles up at the top of those rods. Alright, now, I was inspired to make this face, to create this face in an image of a horned being right there at the top of the ear. This is, what you can't see is the rest of it is an Egyptian onyx that I have actually embedded here in the ear between the both of these, signifying a genetic bridging. And then here, like a cauldron, cocktail. If you could, I don't know if you could see the handles there. Did I put handle? Yeah, there they go there, and showing you that all of these tools were bridgings of beings in Egyptian time that actually calls for the genetic manipulation of a genetic change, of that of blood, semen, and genetics of the mankind during that period. And wherever you see these symbols with these beings, there's a representation of their contributing factors genetically to this originally created bloodline, and in which direction that it went in. Alright? There's a being here. I don't know if you can see the being with the cap on. Snake coming out of the head. And that excuse me. And that being's neck, the head is attached to another being. If you turn it sideways, which I dub as the mother of creation, I made her in a skeletal-like way. I was inspired to make her in a skeletal-like way, showing you that she was mixed into this cauldron, into this cocktail of genetics, and death and resurrection, the new gene that emerges. Now, it's my position that this here, over here, is where likenesses of our white counterparts, I guess European or whatever you want to call them, this is where all of this began. And people, I was paranormally drawn into this, and all of this came from that. Okay, there's much more to be realized here, but I'm not going to go into detail. I don't want to go too far off into detail here. Now, when I finished drawing that, this is what, now my mind is in Egypt. How I know that I was on cue with this is because something else came up. I was drawn to this. I was drawn to this. This Egyptian glyph. And when I was drawn to that, I had a new understanding of everything that actually occurred. Now, this looks like a cartoon at first. Can I back that off? I don't want to go and losing too much time here either. I don't want to let this thing run over an hour. I was drawn into this, and the first thing that I see is I look at the stains and the blotches, and I seen a face of an ape here in the snake. I seen the lips, I seen the nose there, I seen the eyes, and I see another face attached to the ape's chin right here. which is right there, eye, nose, mouth. And then I see the faces morphing out of the snake, and then I see reptilian faces here. So I see a string of morphing faces, multi-dimensional faces right here. And I see this flower-like, which represents a genetic splicing from this creature here, this cat-looking creature. And it's showing you that this is a genetic splicing. What is it being spliced with? Well, it shows you that the snake is genetically looped over the tree of life, creating a reptilian presence. So, but this is not the first time that I've seen this, because it's actually shown here too. It's actually shown right there. Snake showing the reptilian presence bridged on different levels, and it shows us a reptilian monkey right there with snaking out of his mouth, a snake snaking out of him, and the monkey's tail is attached to that of this snake, showing you that there was a reptilian bridging, an altering of genes, of mankind's genes at apes, the point of ape. And then it shows you this being here, look, has that same thing with the I like to call this the shepherd's crop, because it's telling you that genetics are being shepherdized. That's what what I actually like to say. Okay, and it's showing you a genetic splicing, and these creatures at different levels were created. Now, saying that, this is identical to what the ancient alien theorist has actually told you was an Egyptian light bulb. Wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Because these objects, there's a snake bent back and almost like the shepherd's crock, which is here. Now, I have a video on this too if you want to see this. The snake's tail that is there. You see that flower there, that leaf? Again, there it is right there, people. At the man's hand. Both of these objects showing you that this is actually tied into the founding stone of mankind's genetics, which is that of ape and other creatures. And this is showing you the same exact thing. And it's showing you that this snake, the reptilian presence, is bridged over these creatures. This is not no damn light bulb. This is showing you how there was a reptilian presence, an intervention in mankind's founding genetics. And there was genetic bridgings, and it shows you at each level that these bridgings occurred. And then look, something taken out, bridged back over. So how in the hell is this a light when the same damn thing is right here before your eyes? Identical. Everything that is here is there. Identical. Showing you the snake being bridged over. And it's identical to this too, by the way, people. Just at another different time. And this is what this is saying. And this is why you see the looping of the snake's body. Now, hang in there with me, because I'm going to bring you to the Vatican with this. This is where I'm going with this. Okay? Alright, now, we're back to this. Multi-dimensional faces, reptilian. The ape's likeness is showing you that there's a splicing. This is symbolizing genes taken out. So there's a stain right here. Most of you would not even know that that is there, and you would just think that that is a blotch in the artwork. However, I know how that got there, because paranormally, I'm told so, how it got there. That same image, if you take it, people, and turn it upside down. Let me see if I can bring that in. First of all, let me see if I can bring it in closer for you, so you can see what I see. Now, you see my highlights there, and you can almost see the faces. Now, check this out, though, because this gets better than this. Look at this here. See the faces, the morphing faces, 1, 2, and then in the snake's body there. Now, check this out. When you turn it over, you see the likenesses of man and woman. Hold on. Look at that, people. You see that? You see that face of that man right there? With the snaking object coming out above his eyebrow? There's the eye, the nose, the mouth. Bearded, almost bearded like area right there. You see that? And then on the back of him, there is a woman, the witch-like woman. I call the mother of creation. Now, she just doesn't appear in one face. It looks disproportionate because she's going in both directions. She's facing this direction and she's facing that way. She has two faces going both directions. One that way and one this way. Showing your genes going back and forth. Now, if you back it off, you'll see the other reptilian likeness. So, people, this is what these multi-dimensional faces are all about. The real ones. Not the ones that Leonardo da Vinci created, or the ones that Michelangelo created, or the ones that Bernini created. This is what reality is about right here, people. Because no matter which direction you turn these in, well, upside down, or it shows you both evolutionary faces of these creatures. Now look at this. That's what's reality. Now hold on. It even gets better though. It gets better. Now, if you look at the cat in this image, because this tells us a story as well too. I like this drawing because you can Google this image. In the cat's face, there's a likeness of mankind, a horned being right there. Right there. Eye, nose, and then mouth. In the cat's eye, again, if you look into the cat's eye, I believe that it's like this here. It's hard for you to realize, I believe, right there. But there's, oh yeah, you can see it. Look at the face in the cat's eye. Eye, nose, and mouth. You see that right there? There's a face in the cat's eye. Now, turn it upside down, like this, or I believe it's like that, or the opposite direction of that face. And then there's another face. Look at that. Chin, mouth, nose, eye. In the cat's eye. Huh. Hold on, people, because it gets a whole lot more better than this. Now, ancient alien theorists want to tell you and bring you aliens and everything else. I don't believe that they would actually know what, if they did find the aliens, how to properly read that, because they would take your mind in space. I can bring you aliens all day long in our ancient texts, our ancient everything, because I know what aliens are. I know what angels are. All right, let me bring you an alien. There's an alien right there. There's a reptilian being right there. Eye, nose, and mouth. But let's go to the alien. Look how you have that tree branch going through the eye of that alien image. Look, even has the point on the head, the whole line. Look at that. Eye, that's the right eye. There's the left eye with the tree of life branch going through its eye. There's his mouth. There's his neck, and there's his collarbone right in there. Well, you see it, right? Okay, now. Then, there's a bunch of other reptilian ape likenesses and everything else all down through here that I can see, but I'm not going to take you there. I'm going to take you down to the reptilian woman. She is right there at the split in the tree. Right there. And I gave her some lips. Is this the right image? Oh, hold on. I got her highlighted here. I got the alien highlighted here. So let me bring up the other image so I can bring you into that. Because I gave her true likeness, her horn and all. Now I highlighted the alien-like creature there too. You see that? The eye going through there. I mean the branch going through the eye of that creature. Now check this out. Come down here. Look at this. One horn in the front, one coming out of the back, and it shows you that this guy is splicing down the middle. And look at that reptilian woman right there. I gave her red lips. There's her eye. There's her eye. And look at this in the tree of life. And look at the end of this leaf. Shows you a genetic splicing of over multiple creatures. And I know what they are. Now, this is the tree of life. Now, all of this is telling us this up here. All of this is telling us exactly what's occurring here. At which point that these genetic manipulations and bridgings are happening, because the same exact thing is here. This is what this is all about. Now, I don't know what the hell these experts in Egypt are reading and what's going on, because Da Vinci, Michelangelo, Bernini, and just practically every Renaissance artist has got this right in their artwork, their inscriptions. So what the hell is Egypt doing? What is Africa doing? I mean, what are their minds being erased, or are they purposely taking and leading us away from the truth? How can I sit here and show you this? Here we have this leaf, symbolizing that the genetic splicing at the tree of life here in this cat's hand, the flower here, and nobody is seeing this but me, through my true paranormal experience and encounter, which I can read this stuff. Now, I want to take you to the Vatican with this, because you see this here. This is in the Vatican. You know how this is in the Vatican? Because they stole all ancient history. Now, you're probably saying, well, how can you prove that? I'm going to take the last minutes of this video and show you what they done. Pizzini and Nervi Hall at the Vatican. Sculpture is a stolen idea, stolen artwork from Egypt. It is identical to this exact image here. This is symbolizing. Prove it, right? Okay, I'll prove it. I have a video on this too, by the way, people. 2 videos. This sculpture. I can read the sculpture. That's how come I can tie it to ancient Egypt. This is symbolizing the tree of life. First of all, don't let me forget. I'm gonna tell you why Pizzini made that, but I'm gonna tell you what he said inspired him to make this. First of all, look here. Let me show you what this is. First of all, I have to show you. Jesus is shown in the head of a snake. And you see a skull-like creature that's created from his blown hair. I found that head of a snake, when you turn it sideways, here's the same image, like this here. When you turn it like this here, you get that. All I did was enhance the lines that were already there. This creature is there. Trust me. Teeth and all. All I did was just put whites in the teeth, took color pencils and just colored in what was already there. I didn't deviate from nothing that was there except give this creature its eye and a socket that is already provided, and colored in the teeth that was already there. That's it. Everything is here. You can do the same thing. Download the image, and you can do the same exact marks. I didn't deviate no way from that. And I put a cross in the middle of Jesus's torso, because this is what this is all representing. A cross-referencing of mankind's genetic, and that's what the cross means, and that's what Jesus hanging on the cross means. All right. Now, let me take you back here, because I'm going to show you that Pizzini stole this entire sculpture, the concept, the idea from here, from ancient Egypt. All right. The snake. The snake. The head of the snake. Actually, see the paw of this creature here on the head. This is stopping the genes. It's stopping the genetics, showing you that those ancient genetics caused by this creature, these bridging, is stopped, bridged over the line. The same exact thing that this is saying with the Great Sphinx. The same exact thing. The line. This creature bridged over the line, and that's why that creature is attaching the line. Now, here, I don't want to get carried away. I got notes here. Okay. Here. You see this here with the way, hold on. Let me get this right. You see this here? The way this snake's head is created? You see that? You see this here? The nostril, the nose, and all of that right here? All of this? Finzini, well, right here. You see all of this, the texturing and everything right there. You see that texturing? See the point? You see all of this texture right there? See all of this, the way this opens up? See all of this here? Well, Finzini used this right here. All of this right here. You see that? That same texturing that's in the trunk of this tree right there? All of this is right there. Identical. Right there. Excuse me, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. The identical, gotta go get it. Excuse me. These guys must be coming from their grave on me saying, oh, God, this guy here is too much. Alright. This is identical. Look, all of this right here is representing the tree of life. This entire thing here. And it's showing you these genetic bridgings. But check this out. This right here, this area right here, is identical to this. Finzini made it exactly the same. Right there. Okay, that texturing showing you that the snake genetically bridged over the tree of life. Now, because he stole this idea from here, this is why I'm going to link that same exact thing to that. Now, that woman with the point on the top of her head right here. You see? Did I? I don't want to. Did I? Okay, I got it highlighted here. You see this woman? Right there? That I made right there? She is, I got it highlighted. Now, where are you at, lady? Oh, right here. Look here, people. There she is right there. There's her chin. I gave her her lipstick too. Look, her lips. There's an arrow coming off the snake's body right there. There's her nose. And I put white out for her eye. Here's her forehead. Now look, there's those two horns like coming off the tree of life. Now, what makes this so good is that you notice that this horn is going through that eye right there. There's an eye. Tree of life that's showing you that it's going through, splitting through, bridged right there. You see that? Like a needle through a thread. The identical thing is with that cat. Right here with that alien. Look. Off her horn shows you the branching through the eye of mankind's genetics. Look at that. The tree of life. Mankind. That's what it's symbolizing. Mankind's genetics being genetically bridged. Intervene through the eye. And then continue on. And then there's other likenesses there that I can show as well. Look at that. Off her horn. Right there. Check her out. Check it out. Look. Piercing the tree, coming up, and then through the eye of that of mankind. Reptilian's intervention with mankind. Now look. The same exact thing. I gotta hurry because I don't want this video to run out on me. Look. The same exact thing. Showing you that this genetic piercing with that of mankind. Now that's another. What else is there that I'm going to show you? I don't want to miss out here. Okay. I'm losing track here. Let's go to the cat. Well, you say, well, Jerome, you said you want to show us everything as being identical. You see that cat? See the cat, screaming cat, the cat's mouth open and the tongue out? What are you saying, well, Jerome? I do not see the cat here. I looked at this thing for a whole 2 minutes. because I'm that good. So what I was drawn to is I'm looking over here and I'm saying that this is seemingly the body of the cat right here. I was looking at this little brown spot. Because you see mutate, there's a gargoyle here, by the way, that you see standing here. So then I'm looking at it and I'm saying, well, there's the body of the cat right there, because that looks like the upper torso, the ribs, and I'm seeing these mutations, that the open mouth there, and you see all these little creatures and all. So I said, but nah, I said, I'm not feeling that. I said, this has to be attached to the cat, because the cat is what's being symbolized as being bridged over the snake, between that and mankind. And that's what this is all symbolizing. The cat, mankind, and its likenesses, the reptilian, the tree of life, the cat has to be here with the snake. So I'm looking and look. I said, okay. I said, I got this figured out. I said, there it is right there. I got to hurry up too, by the way, people. And that's where the open mouth of the cat is. You see that? Tanzini stole the entire thing from Egypt. The cat is an ancient creature. The genetics are already bridged over. So the skull of the cat is right there. And Jesus' blown hair, right there. There's that creature. Hold on. Do I have another? In Jesus' blown hair is the image of that open mouth cat that Tanzini stole the idea from. Where he stole the idea from Egypt. I'm going to see if I can bring that in closer. That, people, which looks like the skull of a dinosaur, is that cat right there. It's the skull of this creature right there. Right here. In Jesus' blown hair. Now, there's another likeness of man right there. And there's something else too, because you say, well, I don't see. Oh, Fanzini stole it all. The tongue. You will see it. I don't know if I can bring it over right here. It's coming off and snaking around right here. There's mutations in the face of Jesus, and you'll see that tongue snaking off right there in the Fazzini sculpture. Everything that is here. Now, the reptilian likenesses, the apes, the reptilian apes, all of that stuff is right here. And this is where Spenzini stole his idea from. You're saying, well, how about the reptilian ape? I already showed you the reptilian ape, but I can show you again, people. Look, this is the sculpture close up. There's a reptilian ape. That's the right eye socket. That's the left eye socket. That's the right nostril. There's the left nostril. There's the bridge of the mouth of the ape, the top. And then through the ape's mouth, there's a genetic linking chain right here. And it shows you with the snake, shows you new genes being unconnected. There's a worm like coming out of the snake's mouth, and it's in the image of a man, which actually has another worm-like creature coming out of his head right there, out of that snake's mouth. That's in Fazzini sculpture. This entire sculpture can be read the same exact way that this Egyptian glyph can be read. The ears of this cat has two penises. Shows one to that of man, showing you two genetic lines that were created, that of mankind, the new gene, and then that of the cat, which was altered, and there's a penis on each end. Those same two penises, which comes, these penises come off the cranial of this guy and off the cranial of the cat, are the same two penises that, if you look at my video that I made on this, that are encrypted right there in the ape's head, the reptilian ape's head as well too. There's a head of a penis right there. It creates the ape's cranial, the split in the ape's cranial. There's a penis there, and there's a penis right there. And it's showing you that it's showing you. I don't want to go too much into detail here, people, because this is really, really, really amazing. But it shows you genetic bridging, and it shows you where these genes went precisely. I can take you any place that I want to with this, based on all of the informations that are there, and that's what these people are doing today. They are genetically altering us. Now you're probably saying, well, can this be true? Hell yeah, it can be true. Because I'm telling you that it's true. Just as true as you believe in the God that you worship and everything ancient and in text, I'm telling you now that anything in ancient texts, anything in ancient images, anything in ancient art and ancient sculptures, it's all referencing the same thing, and I can take the founding blocks from underneath of it all, because I can truly read it through my paranormal experience and encounter. Now, did I miss anything? Oh, I'm gonna go to Fazzini's on what you call. So Fazzini, Vatican, Fazzini stole his idea and artwork from here. This is a match. A match. Everything that is here is here. It's suggested here. This is the tree of life, bridged over by a reptilian, and then that of our cat creature. This is what the Great Sphinx is stating, and this is what you're stating, or Fazzini is stating, through this sculpture here at the Vatican, which you commissioned. This is stolen artwork from ancient Egypt that I can read. If you don't believe me, challenge me on it. Call me on it. And bring me there, and I can break this down. And there's more that I need even to add to this that I can break down to you. Okay? So, I dare you. Now, which brings me to this. It's my position that mankind's been genetically bridged over with that of reptiles, including that of snake, and creatures. This guy, this Pope, look at his face. These people, I haven't found a healthy and good looking Pope yet. The sickness is in them. You know why? Because they are genetically sacrificing themselves the same exact way that Jesus did, Mary Magdalene did, John the Baptist, Judas, and the rest of these people, Peter, Simon, all of them, genetic bridgers, sacrifice themselves genetically with these animals and mankind's genes alike. And this is what is causing this. These popes looks worse than crackheads that I see on the streets of my city. Alcoholics look better than this. I see functioning alcoholics that drink all their life, and when they put in, they look better than this. This man is supposed to be a representation of divine cleanliness, holiness. I mean, if God is going to punish me in a way to look like this for serving him, then the hell with that. I want nothing to do with this mess. This man's teeth is discolored. His face is discolored. He's a genetic mess, a ticking time bomb. You know why? Because he sacrificed himself, just as I said, genetically on the cross. Can I get that in closer? Which all represents that of genetic bridging with reptilians and the genes of mankind's genes from all globally. Blood and semen is what caused this. Something is terribly wrong here. Now, I want to call yourself and your attention to look at this. This represents the genetics linked over his neck. Looped over his neck is the same representation of that of the halo. It shows you these bridgings, these ancient genetics that this man is proudly wearing on his collar, like a gang member in California wearing colors. He's showing you that these genetics that he's carrying, these ancient genetics, and one of them is shown right here by this horn being. which creates a cap, if you want to arguably say that, but it's matched into his cloth here, to where it actually shows you that it is actually 2 horns. And this is how these guys get away with these encryptions. You could say, well, he's wearing a cap like this, just like this, and it's just not shown because it's the matching color of his cloak here that he's wearing, of his scarf that he's wearing, or I don't know what you call it, but it's to give rise to that of being horns. And those that can read this stuff knows that. And these genetic bloodlines, ancient, are all shown here. It shows you, I can tell you where the genetic contaminations of Jesus went, where they came from, where they went, and what's being said here, because the entire story of Jesus and Christianity is based on these genetic bridgings. And this is why you have this. These people picked up on an ancient history from here, ancient Egypt, and then they took it globally and started cross-contaminating and cross-referencing the genes of mankind. These genes, these genetic grails, as I call them, can be read. I can show you where this came from, how it came from, before, and where it went after, because these are genetic grails. They're readable. In fact, the problem is that modern science, modern religion, even ancient religion, these theorists, they pull your mind away from the truth. If you let yourself go, you can see the aliens. I can take you to them. I can take you to your angels. I can take you practically anywhere in reality, because that's where this is reality. And I can give it to you anywhere and anything, because this is what it was all about. My name is Jerome Wright. You're watching my Jeronification channel. And the thing about being bridged over with lines, let me take this Pope down, because he's a scary mess, isn't he? A scary, disgusting mess. Imagine that. This man is not supposed to have been introduced to drugs, alcohol, or anything. Pure life. So why in the hell do he look like that? You know why? Look. You would think that he's denied himself a toothbrush. Look at this mess. You know why he looks like that, people? Because this man sacrificed himself genetically. Now, you know what he does with this? He takes this and contaminates other nations. That's what this is about. They take and genetically sacrifice them, genetically bridge themselves, and create these new genetics, and then contaminate the rest of the world with them. And that's what this is about. And he proudly wears his face out in public. Let somebody take his picture. You know why? Because those that know what the ancient secret is, they accept this. Where me and you see this as being one sick fuck in the face and in mind and in everything that I just said, there are people that are worshiping this, and this is why there are so many followers, because they know exactly what's going on. They're in support of this. It's DNA swapping and bridging, and that's what's caused for this. You wouldn't be able to get one of those popes that stick their arm out and let you genetically test them, or for sign to check their blood. You know why? Because you will find out that everything that I am stating is true. This is why when something happens with them, they have their own everything in place. You can't even do an autopsy on this man. I'm going to take you to St. Jerome. Google St. Jerome when you get a chance, because I talked about us being bridged over lines and cats and all of that stuff there. I'm going to take you to St. Jerome. You see that cat there and all that? Here, St. Jerome is telling you the same thing. When you Google St. Jerome, that's all St. Jerome is about. St. Jerome, this is a calendar of St. Jerome. And you see the lion there. The lion's paw is out. Now in reality, this just doesn't make no sense. You would think that St. Jerome is taking a splinter out of the lion's paw. That would be stupid, wouldn't it, thinking that way? But what St. Jerome is telling you is that he is pricking that lion, and genetically he's taking genes out of the lion and they're going into his body. And that's why St. Jerome has this appearance of that with the lion. The beard. Look at the almost like the skin of the lion worn by St. Jerome. This is what this is all representing. He's saying, look, I am now one with this creature. Look, I am the lion. I am carrying the blood of the lion over me. I am veiled. I'm haloed. I am coveted in this creature's genetics. That's a better way of saying it. Here's another image. Landscape image with Jerome by Jacqueline Patinier, Flounders, 1515. And he's stating the same thing here. There he is again with the lion. There's a cross with Jesus on it, which represents the cross referencing. There's a skull down there. And then in the cliffs, you'll see images of apes and other things. If you look, you will see morphing images of these reptilians coming in and coming out. You'll see faces if you look closely enough. I can show you them where they are at. If you look, you will see close. I mean, this is what this is showing. It's showing you that Saint Jerome has went into taken and bridged himself over the founding genetics of mankind, and then cross-contaminating other areas with these genes. Here, now. I don't know if Da Vinci made this or Rembrandt. I forgot now. But this is St. Jerome. Either you can go by Da Vinci or you go by Rembrandt. I forget which one, and I'm leaning towards Rembrandt because this looks like his style. Because Rembrandt makes a lot of his paintings in darkness, so to speak. I'm gonna have him finish this video too. But anyway, the lion has its tail, and that almost like a shepherd's crock. Okay, and in between there is the skull of mankind, stating that just like Jesus with the cross, with the skull at the bottom of the cross, ancient genetics of mankind, African, ape, this lion was bridged over. Here, there's a nostril, there's the bottom lip, there is a snake right here coming off of this edge. This is a darkened image because of the way it printed out, okay, people? And this image is dark as well too. Over here you will find the mother of creation. There's a witch-like woman right there encrypted. Here, you see that founding stone right there? Here, there's the head of a whale laying here. And St. Jerome is telling you that he is bridged between all of these genetics. And there was a new gene created and sent back in and pulled back out again. And St. Jerome is telling you that he was a significant part of all of this. And these new genes now have been created by St. Jerome because he bridged himself over in a sacrificing way, in a cult-like way. And now these new genes are taking off. And I can show you from after St. Jerome's time where these genes went. Because, you know why, people? Because these are genetic blueprints to who you are. My name is Jerome Wright. I'm going to end this video here. I hope that you like this video. And there's always more to come, okay? Because I have no end, because what I have is factual. And it's right before your eyes. Send me global, people. Send me global. Send me viral here, and that will send me global. Okay? And the truth will be known, the full truth. There's so much that I'm holding back. My name is Jerome Wright, and I'm out. Thank you for watching my video. And you can also see me on Alien UFOs, Dreams and Experiences. And my title on that form is I Am an Alien, and so are you. That's where I started out from. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Jerome Wright here again, and you're with me on my Jeronification channel here on YouTube. And for the past I think 4 or 5 days here, I've been I've been stuck on a mental lock or block or whatever you want to call it with looking at this image here before you, which is that of um, the structure, the what is this, the Great Sphinx, the Great Sphinx in Giza there, and I've been just drawn to it, and I just can't let go. So normally what happens when this occurrence happens to me, when I'm drawn to an object mentally, because that's what actually happens. It's like almost like a magnetic gravitational pull that I have mentally that keeps drawing me and drawing me and drawing me through my paranormal experience and encounter. Just to give you an idea of what happens to me. So normally what I do is when I'm drawn to an image, I'm just actually just there staring at it. I'll print it out, I'll look at it, I just keep going over and over in my mind. Okay, what is it that you want me to know? Because I'm drawn to though. Because you know what, the lion is in mankind's evolutionary chain of events as well too. Genetic chain of events. This is a creature that mankind was bridged over. There was a point where that actually happened, and there is a specific record on this. Okay, not only in just Egyptian time, but also in that of Christianity and everything else as well too. Okay, it shows a genetic process where these creatures were bridged over each other, and it calls for mankind's different genetics, mankind's different features, his limbs, and everything. This is what this is symbolizing. All right, let me go back. When I'm drawn to this image, I start mentally start taking myself into this being. And how do I do that? I start drawing things. I started out with the tail. Over here where the tail is coming over the back foot here. What is that? The right hind quarter foot there. And I start looking at things and looking for things that are there that I see. So there's the tail, and then I see this wet area right there. It's like an area where rock may have been once before or moved, but it almost looks like there's a stain on the rock. And what I can see is I see the head of a serpent. And then once the head of the serpent goes here, then I see its tail. It's evolutionary chain of events. And it's amazing that these experts look past this, because there is nothing more important to that of man, even in our current own history, than where we came from or who we are. When we go into our own homes today, we see pictures of not just ourselves, but of our children. You know what I mean? And how we came. There's a record. And that's what these people did. They made their record, but on a larger than life scale. And we come along after history has been robbed of us, and there are those that enjoy knowing the truth of how this all occurred, knowing that this symbol means something that actually occurred in actuality, and change it around and turn it into a mythical sense and have us believing that none of this never happened. Now we don't know suddenly where we came from. You know, this is all bullshit. There's no other way to say it than just that. Then you have those that come along like the ancient alien theorists and others that have us looking to the skies and beyond for something that occurred, that happened, that calls for all of this to happen. No, we had an intelligence that we evolved from space with already built into us. There is all of this technology, this understanding already in us that we evolved from space with and knew how to do this, our ancient ancestors. What is blocking you from seeing this now is that, and understanding this now, is that the so-called logic behind your religions and your science of today. With none of that as being a barrier in your understanding and your logic that you already came equipped with from beyond our world with, you would know that this is actual and factual. And this is what happens to me. That barrier in my mind, I broke it down. But anyway, I'm looking at this And already I know instinctively that what this is stating is that mankind emerged from that of reptilian. And I don't see this as being nothing more than the head of a snake and the likeness of man emerging from that. Specifically, a cobra. Alright? And which is consistent with all of the glyphs that are already in Egypt. This is the head of a cobra with the face of mankind emerging. That snake is symbolizing, instead of his coiled body being there, which actually could be there because these legs seems to be displaced from this. There could be a coiled body of a snake that this was actually these lion's legs was added to, which is okay. I mean, it's like I can't walk away from it. I have to stay at it. So normally what I do is I would start looking and letting myself go mentally into this thing, looking at it as being a real object, which I know that through mankind's evolutionary process that these creatures did in fact exist. And I found the evidence of it. Okay, I have other videos here. I think it's 137, 140 videos here. I thought it was about 150 now, but it's not. But look at my other videos, and you'll actually see how these creatures actually existed. And what this great sphinx is telling us is that the image of mankind came through the body of the lion and that of the serpent through a process of these genetic bridgings and manipulations, which actually calls for the variations and likenesses of mankind today. And these Renaissance artists, I found out that the boom in Renaissance art, I mean, they're stating the same exact thing that is already in our ancient history. And this is why you have these half bird, half lizard, half reptilian. I mean, all of these half bull, these half creatures with mankind, because it is a factual thing that occurred in our evolution.